Good morning, Mizzou fans. Gabe DeArmond here with you. Some morning after thoughts on Missouri's 61-53 loss in Austin, Texas last night. This is PM in the AM for Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. Look, everybody has nights like Missouri had last night. It was a little bit shocking to see, especially offensively. This is a team that had scored 75 points in all but one game. Even in that game, the loss at Auburn, Missouri scored 68. They couldn't get anything going offensively last night. 53 points, a season low, and just never really strung together more than three or four possessions where you felt good about things. They did have a stretch early, the start of the second half, where they turned a 7-point halftime deficit into a lead that they held on to for a few minutes, but just couldn't string enough baskets together. Texas eventually, got a couple things going, absolutely beat Missouri up on the offensive glass. It was an old problem that reared its head. You wanted to think 4 or 5 games into SEC play that Missouri had fixed it. Obviously haven't fixed it permanently. Texas was just killing Missouri on the offensive glass. 22nd chance points. Missouri only had 4, and Missouri got some offensive rebounds, but they just couldn't finish anything off. So no reason to panic, no reason really even to me for concern quite yet. People looked at the SEC records. Missouri was 4-1, Texas is 1-4, and just thought, well, this should be a Missouri win. First of all, you can't count anything on the road. Second of all, after last night, Missouri's 26 in the net rankings, Texas is 33. Like, these teams are not that different. Missouri has beaten some of the lower level teams in the SEC. Texas has losses to Florida and Tennessee. It's not like they've had a this easy schedule and gone 1-4. So Missouri has its toughest 2 weeks of the season coming up. The next 4 games are home for Ole Miss, at Mississippi State, at Tennessee, home for Texas A&M. Those are all top 20 teams. Missouri has to get at least one of them. Well, I say has to still feel completely confident that this is an NCAA tournament team. They could still make it with 4 straight losses. They'd be sitting 4-5. You just got to pick up 4 more. It's not out of the question. The schedule gets easier as you go down the stretch. Not easy, but easier. But to feel good about where things are, to not be worrying about the NCAA tournament, you've got to win at least one, and honestly, a split is ideal. That's the goal the rest of the way. If you can go 1-1 every single week, you're going to end up something like 10-8 in the SEC, and that's going to be plenty good enough to get you in, and actually with a pretty decent seed probably off that 8-9 line. The one question I have after last night is, we need to see Missouri win a game when the 3-point shot isn't falling, because it's going to happen probably in the postseason, especially when you get tired, when you're playing for the second time in 3 days or the third time in 3 days in these tournaments. Do you have a secondary way to win? Last night, Missouri 4 for 20 from 3-point range. Nobody could get it going from outside. Trent Pierce had 2 early in the second half, but that was really it. So what's Missouri's other way to win? I think it's probably getting to the free throw line a whole bunch. It's figuring out the rebounding just a little bit better than it did last night. But the encouraging thing, Missouri did play good defense last night. I think they had a lot to do with Texas only scoring 61 points. Yeah, Texas missed some shots, but that's going to happen too. So you want to see Missouri come out on the winning end of a game where it doesn't happen because they're just burying jump shots and getting out in transition and running. It's not that they can't do that. You just want to see it happen. So all in all, tough night. Not ideal. You would love to give yourself a little more margin for error with a win at Texas, but not a game you necessarily win in, counting on being part of the path to the NCAA tournament. Saturday against Ole Miss, big one, not make or break, but certainly a chance to get back on track and get things headed down the right path again. Appreciate you hanging out. Like, comment, subscribe while you are here, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning.